Welcome to the Garage USA. I'm Jonathan Brinke.
And I'm Mary Brinke.
And today we're going to be talking about the Ford Model T event. Thanks for joining us. So Ford just had their little press release. Something about their new Model T moment. And I wasn't really impressed.
No. We've been tracking a lot about electric vehicles over the past year.
Yes.
And really getting a lot of information about electric vehicles, understanding the market for them. And this lacked
a lot
for the hype.
So apparently it is their universal electric vehicle platform. They said they are revolutionizing the method in which they are going to be assembling and manufacturing things. They are changing the assembly line as they currently run them, and they're going to use what they call a tree, which is more like modular construction or assembly.
Basically three lines.
Three lines that come together. Now, as far as the vehicle itself, I mean, the technology sounds like they're doing something different with that to make the battery different, not having cobalt and nickel in the process of the manufacturing process of the battery, so they're removing those. So it's going to be, a third of the size? I think they said it was like a third of the size of like a current standard lithium battery. But with that...
they didn't say the range.
They did not say the range.
I think that's a significant shortcoming of the announcement. They should have said the range.
And they did talk about the new vehicle, which is going to be a pickup truck, a mid-sized truck. They said it's going to be a 5-passenger vehicle, and they said it was going to be about the size inside the cabin as like a Toyota RAV4. So obviously a smaller truck. It's going to have a pickup bed. It's going to have that front trunk or frunk. But yeah,
four doors.
Four doors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But not much information other than the fact that they said the base price is going to be around $30,000. But nothing on range, nothing on the actual battery capacity, nothing on payload capacity, towing capacity. There's a lot that is not included in this event. I mean, they did talk about how the process of the assembly will be different. They had a lot of people from the Louisville, Kentucky plant talk.
No, they had one employee talk briefly.
That's right. It was one employee. It was one employee, right. Okay.
Talk briefly. They had a very interesting video that I watched while we were driving. And the video, it looked like the employees that were featured in the video were enthusiastic about the changes to their work, basically. Their work is going to be less reaching in, less pulling over the head, and less complicated, supposedly reducing work injury likelihood. But I thought there should have been some significant data correlating those changes to the cost to the consumer. Like, how much does a work injury cost in the purchase of a Ford vehicle? Nothing. There was nothing.
Right. They didn't include any of that information.
No. And the other thing that I found very interesting was they talked about this being a plant that employs 12,000 people, but that they're going to be retooling the plant And in retooling the plant, they will be employing 2,200 people. So retooling leaves me to think that some of the 12,000 people might be displaced. And so are they really creating 2,200 jobs in Louisville? 2,200 new jobs in Louisville?
Or additional jobs.
Or additional jobs?
Yeah, that was a little vague as far
that was
as
vague.
the employment numbers.
And then there are 2,000 new employees expected in Detroit with the battery manufacturing. That does sound like new.
Yes.
That sounds like those are new positions because it is making something brand new. Personally, the event lacked a lot of excitement.
Or substance.
Well, substance, but let's talk about the excitement first. Because in the event, they had a room full of Ford employees. And I think they could have slipped each of those employees $200 cash and encouraged them to applaud enthusiastically. However, these people had to be prompted when they should applaud, and in my opinion, for an announcement of this nature and this hype, wow. Well, this does not get me excited.
Right. And they didn't show the vehicle. You said they showed the windshield of it, of the people that went and saw the design in California. They kind of focused more on the people, and they showed the windshield, but the vehicle itself was not displayed, brought out to look at. And so that's where it's like, that kind of lacks the enthusiasm then, because it's like, we watched the Slate unveiling, and they actually had a truck that they drove up on stage and showed everybody. And then at the end of their little presentation, they drove out all kinds of different models, with their SUV hatchback thing on it and the fastback and the different things you could do with a Slate. So they brought all those out for everyone to take a look. And so you actually had a product to view where Ford gave you a drawing.
A bathroom sign. It looked like the men's and women bathroom sign that you see, but it was a truck with a little stick figure person in the front and a stick figure person in the back.
Right. So again, just not very impressive on the whole announcement, especially that, they're touting this as the next Model T moment. Again, changing the assembly line, the assembly process, great. That could be, pretty exciting. The fact that just the reduction in the steps, the reduction in the parts, the reduction in the amount of things that they're putting in.
Complexity.
The complexity, yeah. So they are making it a little more simple.
A plug connection type thing instead of the complexity. Yeah.
So that, I could see how that could bring costs down, and that could be, exciting for Ford.
Exciting for Ford, however, concerning for employees, in my opinion, because of the automation.
Right.
The automation is going to reduce manual work by, what did they say, like 25% or more?
I don't remember what those numbers were.
There's a significant reduction in, and obviously they're making the claim that the automation will lead to less mistakes, more perfect vehicles. I get that.
Yeah, they were pushing the quality, the improvement in the quality.
They definitely were. However, I'm not sure that the audience was necessarily buying into the hype about the benefits for them and their community.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I was expecting to maybe see a vehicle, hoping to see a vehicle.
Okay, but even when the guy talked about technology, he's like, this is going to be the best digital technology ever. And then all he mentioned was Bluetooth, which we all use all the time
Right.
in our cars.
Right.
So what? Nothing. We don't even have a hint
Right.
that there's something better than what's already out there, other than that you could generate power for your home for a week off of your car.
Yep, they're saying that the battery will be able to generate
Power.
But
then when your car isn't charged, now what? And how do you get to work if you're, I don't know.
Right. So a lot of things, a lot of questions, a lot of things that they did not answer. I would have liked to have seen a design, a truck. Show me a truck. Slate showed me a truck. We put a reservation.
We have a reservation
for a Slate.
On the Slate.
Right. I can't reserve the new Ford. Why can't I reserve? I will give you $50 to reserve my new Ford. But they're not doing that.
No reservations. No reservations. 2027 is the time frame for the release. The other thing that I found really interesting was the mimicking, for lack of better words, of the Slate release.
It did seem a lot like I was driving. We were just coming back from Colorado, so I was driving, but I was hearing this music as she's watching the event, and I'm just like, that sounds like the music from the Slate press release. But
and they tried to bring in a lot of hype by bringing in Kentucky coaches and talking about Kentucky sports, and
which is cool for Kentucky.
However, even the employees in the plant were not excited about that aspect of it. I'm just not sure. Maybe it's a more reserved culture, although I feel like in Minnesota we are a reserved culture.
Right.
But I was a little bit surprised that they had all of this whoopla, for lack of better words, and nothing to show for it.
Right. Yeah, show me a truck. Show me a truck. I could draw a truck. I could draw a little outline with some stick figures in it. I could do that much.
You could do it on an Etch-a-Sketch.
I could. There you go. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen the truck. And obviously there is a truck, because those 6 employees that they interviewed went to California and they saw it, but they didn't want to show it to us. They showed a windshield.
No. Well, not even a windshield. We saw about 20% of a windshield.
Oh, okay.
About 20% of a windshield. We saw some very excited employees who were really excited about the change to their work. However, they weren't able to make that contagious for the audience, so.
Right. So that was Ford's big event today. So, and that's all I've got.
Yeah, I was not impressed. Watch it yourself. It's not
very long.
The event was about an hour, actually, that we were watching. I know it didn't seem long because you were driving.
Right.
But it was about an hour-long event. And for an hour-long event and for the number of speakers that they had, it really, Ford, this is not a Model T event.
Right.
This is not a Model T event. No.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'd like to thank you for watching The Garage USA. I'm Jonathan Brinke.
And I'm Mary Brinke.
And we'll see you next time.